Today, on this Mastering Warhammer 40k series, we are going to be breaking down the one, the only Scorched Earth. So if you're somebody that is struggling to burn objectives, I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. And you're going to want to stick around because we are going to be breaking down exactly how to maximize your points on this mission and maybe give you some things that you haven't even thought about when it comes to this mission to really help you maximize your game plan in your next tournament, or if you're playing against a friend, maybe coming up this weekend. So without further ado, let's get into it. So about 4 things I want to cover with this mission today. The first being I want to break down as far as identifying your natural expansion. It's going to be very important when it comes to this mission specifically. The second thing is how are we going to simplify our headspace when going into this mission. So we don't overanalyze and overcomplicate our brain. Warhammer is already complicated enough, and I really believe if you can just kind of lock in for a couple of minutes before even the game starts and think about, okay, what do I realistically need to do in this mission against this matchup, I think it's going to help you tremendously. The third thing that we need to talk about is if you're going first or if you're going second, because unfortunately there's 2 entirely different game plans when this is the case. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This mission is pretty darn strong when you're going second. And then the last thing is when it comes to the effective strategies in terms of actually burning the objectives and how to know when to actually burn. All right. So Scorched Earth, pretty straightforward. You get 5 points for your home, 10 points if you hold another objective, and it is capped at 10 per turn. Okay. So it's a nice thing there. And then you guys have played this mission so many times. We are nominating a unit in your shooting phase in the second battle round onwards, and they have to be in range of the objective marker and not within your deployment zone. And the key thing is that it completes at the end of your opponent's next turn or the end of the battle, whichever comes first. And the 2 criteria is either that unit has to be able to survive and it has to be controlling the objective marker. Okay, so let's swing over to our diagram here. Now, I do have Necron units on the right-hand side, but I'd like to preface, if you play any other army but Necrons, which you probably do if you're watching this, Marines, T-Suns, Guard, the new Eldar, you're going to get a lot of value out of this video today, because even though we have Necron units over here, I'm just speaking in generalities of just how to maximize your points on this mission and maybe give you some things to take home and think about. All right, so we have Crucible Battle here, Diagonal Deployment, Layout 6. I primarily play in the US, but if you play on UKTC or WTC, these concepts I think will be more or less directly transferable as well. So first thing is identifying our natural expansion. Now, if you've seen some of my previous mastering videos, the biggest thing that we're looking for with natural expansion is what objective marker is closest to our deployment zone. So when we look at the diagonal here, it's usually going to be the one on the left-hand side of the map. And usually the center is even that we're fighting over here. And then this is your opponent's natural expansion over here. Okay. Now, why this is important with Scorched Earth is leading into the next thing is identifying and simplifying our game plan and our headspace. So a lot of times what I like to think about before I'm playing any mission, but we're talking about Scorched Earth today, is first thing is what do I need to do to score 40 points in this mission? I'm usually not thinking about 50 because it gets a little bit more complicated, but just as a baseline, okay, how can I get 40 points reliably on this mission? And the biggest thing with this mission is you really want to maybe overload your natural expansion more than normal because of the fact that as long as you hold those 10s every round, especially if you're going first, you're already going to get 40 points, okay, which is really nice. So that's an easy way to think about it in terms of, okay, first thing we're looking at is natural expansion. So it's going to be this objective here and holding this objective here in our home. And then the second thing is simplifying our headspace. So how are we getting up to that 40 points? And then we'll talk about what we're actually burning, okay? Now, the third thing is whether you are going first or second. Now, this is going to be the meat of the video today because there's a lot to talk about here, okay? So I'm going to be putting some units over here. Again, these are Necron units, but with that said, No matter what army you play, we're going to be speaking in generalities today, so I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it. Okay, so let's just say we are going first. We're going to talk about going first to start. All right, so typical turn one, you're going to move whatever unit that is. Like in my case, it's going to be Necron Warriors or some other unit that is usually high OC and is fairly durable, that is going to be holding on to your natural expansion, because you want to hold down those primary points. Okay, so as the game goes on, generally speaking, is you're going to be more or less trying to interact with this center point right here. Okay, usually this is the one that you are trying to burn, and the reason for that is against really good opponents, it's very hard on this mission to deny their natural expansion or trying to burn their natural expansion. The main reason for that is because, one, you have more firing lanes that are exposed on this natural expansion. It's harder for you to hide your resources, whatever unit that may be. The fact that either all they have to do to deny your burn is either kill the unit that's on the objective or just put OC on it. And because that objective is closer to your enemy's deployment zone rather than yours, logically speaking, it's just going to be much easier for them to interact with that with their units and deny it than the other objectives, or in this case, the center. Okay, so in most games and most matchups, mentally what I'm thinking about is, okay, how, if I am going first, how can I burn this center objective? Okay, now some players, when you're first starting, you go first, and you're putting some units up there. It could be like your scouts, your JPI, your some Catachan, maybe a Chimera, maybe a Rhino, something like that, and you're putting that on this objective to score points. And maybe it's like turn 2, and you're like, man, they don't have anything on the center. I'm just going to put this out here, and I'm going to try to burn it. And the problem is when going first on this mission, I mean, granted, going second as well, but against a good opponent, most really good players know how to allocate the right amount of resources to either out OC you on the center objective, or they know how to kill the unit on the objective. So they're like, oh, okay, I don't really want to worry about, trying to get on the point and deny these scouts. I'd rather just shoot them off, and then I'm still going to, deny the burn, right? And the biggest thing is that you don't need to worry about necessarily holding the center, because you're only getting 10 points for each round, okay? So it kind of creates this, I don't want to say stalemate-ish game, but you're essentially holding your points over here, your opponent's holding these points over here, and you're just trying to go after this point in the center, okay? So usually with going first, battle round 2, I like to score 10 points. Battle round 3, I'm trying to hold it again, so we're holding 10 points. And then battle round 4 is usually when I'm trying to look to burn, okay, if I'm going first. Now, the reason for this is usually in rounds 1, 2, and 3, and 4, there is hopefully your opponent has a lot less resources on the table at that point. You've been able to get some of those key pieces out of the way. And maybe they don't have a lot left in terms of like OC bodies to deny the point. So a lot of times what I'm trying to do turn 4, if I'm going first, is trying to deny this center objective. Now, you're probably asking, okay, like, why are you trying to deny this one? Why don't you just burn your natural expansion? Okay. The problem arises is your natural expansion is really easy to burn. Okay. So, and the other thing, when you're going first, the tricky part is if I burn this objective on turn 4, it is going to score at the end of my opponent's turn on turn 4 if I get it off, which I probably will. It's my natural expansion. I have a lot of OC on there. The problem is you're going to get 5 points for the burn, but then you're not going to get points for scoring the actual objective. So I'm only going to get 5 points on this objective and then none on this one, because it's going into round. I'm talking about if I'm going into turn 5 and I'm going first, that objective is no longer going to exist. So this is where it gets tricky when you're going first, because a lot of times you want to try to burn this center. And the reason for that is they have limited resources in turn 4, hopefully. And you're putting, something durable up there, or just like you're just cramming a ton of OC on there. So you're just putting, you're like, all right, let's go. I'm just gonna put the Scorpex up there. I got Xeris up there. I got a Scorpec Lord. Here's like 15 OC, everything's super durable. And you're just kind of like all in. This is the last shot to try to burn this, okay? Because if you can get this off, you're probably going to score a 50 on primary going first, which is great, because what's going to happen is you're going to burn this objective. It's going to complete at the end of your opponent's turn in turn 4. So you will get the 5 points for burning the objective in no man's land. And then on turn 5, whatever is left here, let's say, one of these assets is left, this is burned, then all you have to focus on is basically just going all in on your natural expansion up here and burning it with a unit, and then hopefully they can't get it, and then you're also going to score 5 points for that objective, but you're still going to score the 10 for primary, because you start the turn, you score the burn for the middle, end of 4. Going into turn 5, I'm going to hold 2 objectives, right here and right here. I'm going to try to burn this objective, and then my opponent at the end of his turn gets a chance to respond. If he can't do it, then you also are going to burn that objective, which is great. Okay. That is, I think, a generally good game plan when you're going first on this mission, is you're more or less looking for that turn 4 burn in the center. So then it opens up the door to burn your natural expansion in turn 5 and get your points. Now, I never said this was going to be easy, okay? I'm like still burning the objective in turn 4 against good opponents. It's very difficult. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The game plan gets a much simpler, I feel like, when you're going second. And this is what we're going to talk about now, okay? So moving these pieces out of the way, let's say you go second, okay? Now, I'm going to say it's pretty easy to get 50 points if you're a good player on this mission if you're going second, okay? And the reason for that is essentially we can do what we just talked about, but in reverse order, okay? So your opponent, we're going second. Again, we're going to be holding these 2 objective markers right here, okay, for throughout the game. And then the biggest thing that we're going to do is we are going to burn our natural expansion instead in turn 4, okay? And the reason for that is because going into turn 5, we have the flexibility, because we're scoring at the end of the turn, that we can burn an objective in no man's land and also shift all of these resources here to control it at the end of the game, okay? So essentially, if you're going second, the game plan should be, okay, identifying your natural expansion, what's the closest one outside of the deployment zone, right? And then we are going to hold these 2 objective markers, so battle round 2, 3, and 4, and 5, going to be our 40 points. We're going to burn this one in turn 4 and hope that they can't really interact with it or out-OC us, and then you can take all of those assets off in turn 4 and shift them over here, whatever that may be. I mean, you could even have like a Scorpex over here, like a Scorpec Lord, and then you shift them all over here, and then it's turn 5, and you're like, okay, well, I control now these 2 objectives. I'm burning this one, and I get my 50 points. So don't be discouraged, if you're going first and, it's been an uphill battle with trying to win on this objective. I'm not saying it's not impossible. But going second on this mission is definitely very strong, just because of the way the rules interact, whether you're going first or second. So recapping here. So the biggest thing, first thing on Scorched Earth, you're trying to identify your natural expansion. So whatever is closest outside of your deployment zone. And again, simplifying your headspace, okay? And this is like a little Easter egg if you stay till the end. That we'll leave in here. So when it comes to identifying your headspace, you're also thinking about your opponent, okay? So what kind of archetype are they? Where, okay, like if it's Dark Angels, for example, one of the main weaknesses of Dark Angels, they don't have a lot of OC. Okay, so how can I exploit their lack of OC throughout the match? Where can I eliminate certain resources in rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4 to make sure that it gives me the best chance, especially if I'm going first, to try to burn that middle objective? Okay, same thing with World Eaters. Low OC, they're super fast, they're durable, or not durable, but fast, but same type of thing. What resources can I get rid of to make sure that gives me the strongest chance if I'm going first to score that center objective in round 4? It does get a little bit trickier when you're playing against matchups like GSC, like Orcs, like AdMech, where they just have a ton of units, a ton of OC. I think you can reliably score 45 on that mission. And then you kind of go into a headspace of how can I deny my opponent's natural expansion after that is probably a better game plan into that mission. And basically what you're focusing on in those matchups is just holding these 2 objectives for 40 points and then just burning this at the end of the game. You're not really concerned about getting necessarily, I mean, you'd love to get 50 points, don't get me wrong, but you also have to be realistic into those matchups, and it's probably going to be pretty tough because you're not going to usually win the trade game against those matchups, and you're probably also not going to win the OC game because they just have so many bodies that are also OC too. Okay, so that's what we mean by as far as simplifying your headspace. And then again, think about if you're going first or second. If you're going first, looking for that turn 4 center denial. And then if you're going second, you're kind of holding your natural expansion all 4 turns. You're looking to burn your natural expansion in turn 4. And then you want to shift those assets over towards the center in turn 5 because you can hold those 2 objectives and get the burn off and cap out at 50 points, which who doesn't love scoring 50 points on primary? So hopefully this video helped you all today. I'm going to link 2 videos up top. And yeah, we will catch you in the next one.